Hello everyone and welcome to the Prophet's Mosque status and its expansions. I'm your host, Mohsin Bakri. Medina is one of Islam's two holiest cities, making it a key destination for millions of pilgrims traveling to Saudi Arabia for Hajj or Umrah. The city is centered around Al-Masjid An-Nabawi, also known as the Prophet's Mosque, which was constructed by the Prophet himself and is also where he is buried. Medina is where the Prophet Muhammad, peace and prayers be upon him, lived and taught after the migration from Mecca in 622, called Hijrah. This year is so important in the history of Islam that it marks the start of the Islamic calendar. Although the city's name is usually written as Medina in English, but its full name is Al-Madina Al-Munawwara, meaning the enlightened city, because of the city's pivotal role in the Prophet Muhammad's life, peace and prayers be upon him. Making a trip to Medina or Al-Madina is a lifelong dream for many Muslims. The Prophet's Mosque in Al-Madina Al-Munawwara is a place Muslims from around the world visit while performing Hajj and Umrah, or simply to pray and visit the Prophet Muhammad's tomb, peace and prayers be upon him. One of the world's largest mosques, the Prophet's Mosque underwent several expansions throughout its history, starting with the days of the Khalifas, followed by the Umayyads, the Abbasids, the Ottomans, and finally the Saudi era, during which it underwent the largest expansion in its history and was the first place in the Arabian Peninsula to be lit by electric light bulbs in 1327 after Hijrah. The Prophet's Mosque, also known as Al-Masjid An-Nabawi, was the second mosque built by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and prayers be upon him, in the first year of Hijrah, as the Hijrah means the Prophet's migration with his followers from Mecca to Al-Madinah, which was called Yathrib at the time. The land on which the mosque was built belonged to two orphans, Sahel and Suhail, and was used as a place for drying dates. The Prophet planned the mosque structure to occupy a 50 by 49 meter tract of land and built it facing Jerusalem, the Muslims' Qibla at the time. He dug the foundation and used palm leaves for the roof and trunks of palm trees as columns. The Prophet also built his mosque with 3 doors, one of which was called Atika, now known as the Door of Mercy, while the other was the Door of Jibril and was the Prophet's preferred entrance. In the back of the mosque there was a shady area for sheltering the poor and strangers. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and prayers be upon him, did not build a roof for the entire mosque. So, when it rained, water would drip on the worshippers. The worshippers asked the Prophet to support the roof with mud, but he refused and said, "No, an arish like that of Moses, a trellis roof like that of Moses." In its early days, the mosque's floor wasn't covered with anything until the third year after Hijrah, when it was covered with pebbles. When the Qibla was changed to face the Kaaba instead of Jerusalem, the southern part of the mosque was moved to the northern part. The back door was closed and a new door was opened in the north. The Prophet's mosque underwent its first expansion in the days of the second Khalifa, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, in the 17th year after Hijrah. The first Khalifa, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, didn't work on expanding the mosque since he was busy with the Ridda Wars, also known as the Wars of Apostasy. The mosque became very crowded with worshippers in the reign of Khalifa Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. So he bought the surrounding houses and included them in the mosque to expand it by 20 cubits from the west, 10 cubits from the south, and 30 cubits from the north. No expansion, however, took place in the eastern part of the mosque, as the rooms of the Prophet's wives were located there. After that expansion, the mosque's length became 140 cubits from the north to south, and its width 120 cubits from east to west. It was built in the same form chosen by Prophet Muhammad, peace and prayers be upon him. The walls were built of bricks. Palm tree trunks were used as columns. The 11-cubit high roof was made of palm leaves, and the flooring was made of garnet grits. Khalifa Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu also added a 2-cubit high smock to the mosque. The expansion that took place in the days of the Khalifa Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu was estimated at about 1,100 square meters. It also gave the mosque 6 doors, 2 in the east, 2 in the west, and 2 in the north. During the reign of the third Khalifa, Uthman ibn Affan radiyallahu anhu, in the 29th year after Hijrah, the mosque became too small for the large number of worshippers. So he consulted the Prophet's companions on expanding it, and they found it a good idea. Khalifa Uthman ibn Affan radiyallahu anhu had the mosque's walls built of carved stones and plaster, its columns of engraved stones and iron rod installed in lead, and its roof of teak wood. The 6 doors were left as they were following the expansion done by the second Khalifa, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. The Prophet's mosque remained as it was after the expansion carried out by the Khalifa Uthman bin Affan radiyallahu anhu and until the reign of Al-Walid bin Abd al-Malik in the 88th year after Hijrah. Al-Walid wrote to the ruler of Al-Madinah al-Munawwarah, Umar bin Abd al-Aziz, between the year 86 and 93 after Hijrah, ordering him to buy the houses around the Prophet's mosque in order to expand it. He also directed him to include the rooms of the Prophet's wives in the expansion. Following the directives of Al-Walid, Umar bin Abd al-Aziz expanded the Prophet's mosque and made the Prophet's tomb part of it. Therefore, Al-Walid's expansion was from three sides: east, north, and west, and the southern wall's length became 84 meters, the northern wall 68, and the western one 100. The whole expansion was estimated at about 2,369 square meters. The expansion during the reign of Al-Walid bin Abd al-Malik included building a hollow mihrab and manarats for the first time in the Prophet's mosque. A total of 4 manarats were built, one in every corner, as well as terraces on the mosque's roof. No expansion was done in the Prophet's mosque after Al-Walid's expansion, but there were some repairs and renovations. A fire erupted in the Prophet's mosque in the year 654 after Hijrah, and a number of Muslim Khalifas and leaders contributed to restoring it. The first to contribute to was the last Abbasid Khalifa, Al-Musta'sim Billah, who sent supplies and builders from Baghdad to fix the mosque in the year 655 after Hijrah. The Abbasid Caliphate ended with the fall of Baghdad at the hands of the Tatars. After that, a second fire erupted in the year 886 after Hijrah, destroying many parts of the mosque's roof. Sultan Qaitbay, the ruler of Egypt at the time, received word of the incident and subsequently sent supplies, workers, and materials, and the mosque was roofed in 888, in the year 888 after Hijrah. Qaitbay's expansion, estimated at 120 square meters, was completed in the year 890 after Hijrah, and was the last done before the Ottoman and Saudi eras. No change took place in the Prophet's mosque since Qaitbay's expansion and reconstruction work for 387 years. But during this period, a lot of repair and renovation work was done to the minarats, walls, and doors, and the crescents above the minarats, as well as the dome, were replaced. Nevertheless, no complete demolition and reconstruction took place until the reign of Sultan Abd al-Majid. The Ottoman Khalifa Abd al-Majid II sent architects, builders, workers, supplies, and materials in the year 1265 after Hijrah to reconstruct and expand the mosque. The process took 13 years. Materials used included red stone from Al-Jamawat mountain west of Al-Madinah Al-Munawwara. These stones were used for building columns, while walls were built of black basalt stone. The largest expansion of all time in the Prophet's mosque took place during the reign of the late King Abdullah, alongside his umbrella project. He ordered the installation of 250 umbrellas on the columns in the mosque's courtyards to shade 143,000 square meters around the mosque. More than 800 worshippers can pray under each of these umbrellas. Moreover, 6 tracks in the southern part of the mosque were shaded to protect pedestrians. The umbrellas were specially made for the courtyards of the Prophet's mosque. They employ modern technology and operate with high proficiency. They were also tested in the manufacturing country and designed to be of 2 different heights to overlap and ensure no sun rays or rain reach worshippers. The heights of the first group of umbrellas is 14.04 meters, while the second group is 15.03 meters tall. The heights of all umbrellas, when closed, is 21.07 meters. Al-Madinah Al-Munawwara saw the largest expansion in the history of the Prophet's mosque in late 1433 after Hijrah, when King Abdullah laid the foundation stone to expand the mosque so it would be able to accommodate 2 million worshippers once the project was completed. King Salman took up the torch after King Abdullah has passed away and stressed the importance of resuming work in the expansion project and other work that serves Islam and Muslims. Saudi Arabia's leaders are all very keen to serve and enhance the 2 holy mosques and provide all services in the holy sites so that pilgrims can easily complete Hajj and Umrah.